It was a heartbreaking tragedy. A bride-to-be left paralyzed and in a wheelchair after a terrible accident at her bachelorette party. But there is no stopping this bride. Despite her injury, she was determined to have her dream wedding no matter what. The bride paralyzed in a freak accident at her bachelorette party finally says I do. Instead of walking her down the aisle, her father pushed her wheelchair, and this was her first dance with the groom. But it was still the wedding of her dreams. Last year, 1 month before she was to get married, Rachelle Friedman and her bridesmaids were goofing around by a pool when one bridesmaid playfully pushed her in. Rachelle landed on her head in the shallow end.
911, where's the emergency? One of our friends pushed one of our other friends into the pool, as a joke, and she, hit her head on the bottom of the pool.
Rachelle knew instantly that she'd suffered a devastating injury.
I couldn't feel the water. I couldn't feel my body. I couldn't move my body.
Doctors confirmed the 24-year-old bride-to-be would never walk again. But walking away was the last thing on the mind of her fiancé, Chris Chapman, who became her dedicated caretaker.
He's passionate, he's strong, he's loving. I will roll down that aisle and I will crawl down that aisle. Whatever I need to do to get to him, I will marry him.
At her wedding last week in North Carolina, Rachelle wore the same dress she'd bought before the accident. It was altered to fit her less muscular frame, and in a touching gesture, Chris sat in a chair to be at her eye level during the ceremony. As they danced, there wasn't a dry eye in the reception hall. Among the guests, the bridesmaid who shoved Rachelle into the pool that day. A fiercely loyal Rachelle has never identified her friend, saying the young woman suffered psychological trauma that parallels her physical injuries. Rachelle also says she's at peace with her condition. We wish them a lifetime of happiness. By the way, the wedding and the honeymoon to Fiji were paid for by 1-800-REGISTRY because the company was so inspired by Rachelle's story. They provided that wedding video to Inside Edition.